You looked him up this morning. You looked him up at lunch again. And you looked him up tonight before you came home. You think you're investigating. You're not. You're self-harming. You already know who he is. You already know what he looks like. You already know more than you actually need to know. And still, every few hours, you feel that pull. Don't turn this off. I'm going to tell you why you can't stop. And I'm going to give you one question that can break the loop today. This is the Brilliant Life podcast. It's real help for men rebuilding after divorce, betrayal, and narcissistic abuse. I'm Mike Moulton, your host. Let's get to work.
Yeah. Check the mic, 1, 2. This ain't a whisper, this a roar coming through. They try to bury us, but the seed just grew. Now the concrete cracks and the truth breaks through. They told you it was over, said you never.
6 years ago, I was where you are today. I pulled my cell phone records. I found a number that I didn't recognize. I used a search service to put his name in it, and I found social media. I found his face. At the time, it felt useful, but my body was fired up. My mind was locked in, and I really felt like I was on a mission. It wasn't a mission. It was actually a stress response dressed up like progress. He looked nothing like me. He was actually the opposite of me. And in that moment, something happened that I didn't understand until years later. I felt relief, then I felt worse. Then I went looking for more. I kept searching while I should have been working. I searched while I was eating. I searched while my kids were in the next room watching TV and playing games. If that's where you are right now, I want you to listen carefully. You are not crazy. You're not a weak man, and you're not unloving. Your brain is doing something specific, and once you can name it, you can start breaking it. I want to talk about the double fixation. Most men think this obsession is one problem, when it's actually two. That's why just stop looking never works for you, because you're not fighting one engine. You're fighting two at the same time. And here's how they work. The first engine is competition. Your nervous system doesn't process betrayal like a simple mistake. It processes it like a loss. Like you were in a competition that you had no clue existed, and by the time you found out, the contest was actually over. You start comparing how tall he is. What does he do for a living? How do you measure up? Do I lose to this guy in every damn category? And once your brain starts treating him like the winner, every detail becomes another way to punish yourself. That's why the search never satisfies. You're playing a game with no final whistle. The contest, it's over. There's no scoreboard. There's no rematch. Even if you found out he's worse than you in every way you can measure, it still doesn't matter. Engine 2, Sanity Restoration. This one goes a little bit deeper. A lot of men spend months or years feeling something was off before they actually had proof. Maybe you were told you're paranoid. Maybe you were told you're jealous. Maybe you were told that you're controlling. Maybe you were told, you know what, you're imagining things. So when the truth comes out, the investigation isn't just about him, it's about you. Every new piece of evidence feels like proof that you weren't losing your mind. Every search becomes a way to say, I knew something was wrong. That's why this loop, it's so hard to break. You're not only trying to understand the affair partner, you're trying to trust your own perception again. And when a man has been denied the fact that his truth was real long enough, he keeps digging. Because part of him is still trying to prove that he was right. Why does this matter? Look, if you only see engine 1, you'll think, the answer is to stop comparing myself to the other man. If you only see engine 2, you think the answer is to keep searching until you feel vindicated. But that also fails. You have to shut down both the comparison loop and the proof loop. Both, not just one. I want to talk about what I call the reference check. In my professional life, when a company is about to hire someone, they do one final thing before they give the offer. They call the references. Not because they expect something new. They already know the candidate's resume. They've done all the interviews. They've seen the work. They call the references because they want emotional permission to move forward. Here's what experienced recruiters know. Most of the time, there's nothing a reference can say that would actually change the decision. The decision has already been made. The references are just a ritual to make it feel safe. I want you to look at what you're doing every time you open that phone. You're not investigating. You're calling references on a decision you've already made. You already know enough. You already know more than you actually need to know. You're not gathering evidence. You're gathering emotional cover. And that's why it never satisfies. No amount of referencing or reference checking can give you what you're actually looking for. So here's the question that can help you stop the search, like it does a lot of my hiring managers. Am I learning anything new that would change my next step? Or am I collecting references on a decision that I've already made? That question cuts through both engines. It stops the comparison loop because the contest is over. It stops the proof loop because the verdict is already in. You don't need another reference. You need to close the file. Listen, you were right. And if you spend your years being told your gut was wrong, hear me clearly. You were right. You were right then. You were right now. The proof is already in. You don't have to keep carrying the case on your back. You do not have to keep proving it. Here's what I want you to do today. Write this question on a piece of paper. Am I learning anything new that changes my next step? Or am I calling references on a decision that I've already made? I want you to put it wherever you usually reach for that phone, and then read it before you search. If the answer is yes, and you're learning something that truly changes your next step, search with intent, but set a limit. Then close the file when you have what you need. If the answer is no, close the file before you even open it. You will probably fail at this a few times. I know I did. That doesn't mean it's not working. It means your nervous system is still catching up. Every time you pause and ask the question, you weaken that loop. You choose clarity over compulsion. You choose ground over evidence. Now, one more thing. If you're stuck in this loop and you can't break it on your own, it's not a weakness, my friend. The two engines you just named are running on autopilot in your nervous system. You can't think your way out of an automatic response. You need a tactical professional in your corner. If you haven't heard my last episode, I want you to go back and listen or watch. That's the protocol for who you are to call this week. It's 3 calls, 3 functions. The one in the middle is the tactical professional. That's where most men need help breaking the search loop. Go to brilliantlifecollective.com and book a strategy session with me. We'll either be the right fit or I can point you to someone who is. Look, I want you to understand something in all of this. You were right. You always were right. That gut feeling was true. Now, close the file. Let's get ready to move on and let's build a brilliant life. I'm Mike Moulton with the Brilliant Life Collective and the Brilliant Life Podcast. I appreciate you watching or listening. And if you enjoy this podcast, please like and subscribe and send it to a man in need of this message. I'll see you next week.
This is the anthem.